Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Dan from Compass Roadz, and in case you missed last week's video, it was our summer saga of problems that we had with our Grand Design Reflection 303 RLS. So definitely take a look at the link up there. That'll take you back to last week's video to catch you up to speed where we are. Now, we broke up the video into two parts because it became too long and too cumbersome, so we wanted to make sure that you had all the information that you needed, so maybe it helped you. Anyways, this is part two, right after the credits.
Welcome to Grand Design RV.
Well, good morning.
Oh.
We got up at 3:30. We heard the sounds of the plant right across from us. They are so busy right now. You can see them over there. They've got, they're already manufacturing RVs.
And right here behind us is a gate that takes you over to customer service. And I think this is where they're actually going to be taking our RV. And that freaking gate beeps every time it opens. It takes forever. It beeps the whole time it's opening. So we set our alarm for 5, but 3:30, 4-ish is when we got up because of that gate. But it's all good because we're finally getting some stuff fixed on this RV.
And when you get here at the campground, it's a really nice campground.
It really is.
We have a tree, we got a picnic table, full hookups with the exception of sewer, but they have a dump station.
Nice flat surface.
And they want you to be ready to be picked up at 6:30. So they want your slides in, your jacks up. What else did they want? Power off, everything.
Power off, power cord wrapped in. So make sure you take your valuables. If you use stackable blocks for your landing gear and your stabilizers in the back, I wouldn't use them here because they're gonna have to come and pick up your stuff and take it. We loosely put our chocks in. So basically it's setting like it would have set on the dealership lot with just the front landing gear down. So make sure you take all your valuables. That's for a big thing. And make sure, they're gonna ask you when you check in,
About the refrigerator? About
the refrigerator if they need to be plugged in. Our refrigerator's broke, so everything that was going to spoil either already spoiled or we had to eat it super quick. So that's
so
why
we
we're
didn't
here.
Yeah, we didn't leave anything in the refrigerator. I was able to clean that out, and hopefully we have a real nice working cold refrigerator when we get back.
So they said make sure all slides are in, power, everything's wrapped up. If you have changed the front lock on your or any of your cargo storage area locks, if you change that, you're going to have to leave a key with them. If not, they have a master key to unlock it. We have not put a new RV lock on the front door yet, so we didn't have to leave a key with them because they're going to be able to unlock it. These are the things you need to know when you come here so you don't leave and they can actually fix your stuff. So we do have the Anderson hitch, and one thing we forgot to ask yesterday, this is for anybody that uses the Anderson hitch as well. Make sure you ask about the coupler. We're gonna have to ask when the guy comes because we may have to actually take that off before they can tow it. Now we dropped it off. You saw the video. They gave us a week and a half is what they actually, the lead time was for us, and they actually took 2 weeks, which doesn't bother me when they're fixing our stuff.
But one thing that we liked about having our work done at the Grand Design factory as opposed to another dealership is they said, what else? When we went in there, they said, what else needs to be done? You know, is there anything else? And we gave them a list of things. We had this very spooky TV issue that we thought we had an evil spirit in our TV, and they could not replicate it, but they said the last day, the day that we came to pick it up, all of a sudden one of the workers said the TV just came on by itself. So they just swapped out the TV for us.
So we got a brand new TV at the end of our island. We have a 303, so at the end of the island where there's like two squares that kind of...
It's the fascia.
The fascia?
Yeah.
The fascia. But yes, but it's the square that's right below where the outlet is. I had a mishap with something. Anyways, I put a hole in it, and we didn't even put that on there for them to fix.
Because that was our fault.
And because it was our fault, and they fixed that when I got in. They were actually pulling our rig out to put it on the spot when we were pulling in to drive in to pick up. They told us they would be ready by this time. We got there, like, I think just a little bit after the time, not by much, and they were pulling it out from that service center. That gate, again, that beeps, they were coming through with it, and we knew it was ours because it had our decals on the front end, and then they put it down, and Dan went over to pay and get some other stuff, and I went through, I found some issues, where there was just, it was just missing some sealant around the front cap because they took the front cap off too. And there was like a place where water could get trapped, and I didn't like that. And they came out and sealed it. And then they actually did a once over. The two guys that came out, one of them was like in love with the Ava. Yeah, he was like playing with the Ava nonstop. And then the other guy was checking stuff out, and I don't know if they actually did anymore. I was watching them, but I was still trying to kind of set up at the same time.
And we didn't do any filming the day that we went to get the trailer because they were already getting ready to go home for the day and bring our trailer out. But here's a picture of us receiving the trailer. And
well, not necessarily receiving, it was after they just dropped and left.
But one nice thing Emily did for me when I got there to receive the trailer is they had this stack of paper, and they went through and told me every part that they replaced. You know, each one had its own worksheet. So they're very thorough in what they did, and they did several point checks on things that we didn't even know about that they just took care of automatically.
So we picked it up. We didn't stick around. We stayed there that night, and we had a long haul the next day because we were trying to get down to where we're at right now, whereas in Arkansas. We had a 10-hour drive to get from where that was at to Labadie.
Point Labadie in Missouri.
Point Labadie, and which was our harvest host, and we've stayed there. That was our second time.
We love that place, yeah.
Yeah, because they have a big field, and you can get away from everybody, and they have food trucks, which I had the best tacos I think I've ever had was from that food truck.
But the important thing to remember at that harvest host was the first night that we were not hooked up, because when we received the trailer, the refrigerator was still warm. So we had to plug it in, plug in the whole trailer and turn on the refrigerator. And so the next morning we woke up and the temperature dropped down to 36 degrees in there. We thought, it's good to go. I made sure that the fans were running. Everything looked great behind the refrigerator. And it was awesome. So we took off, 10-hour trip, and it was hot that day. And it would have been on propane the entire time. But we got to Point Labadie. Well, we were at Labadie, we did not plug in. So again, we weren't really exercising the refrigerator. Again, nothing in there. So I wasn't really looking at the temperatures.
Do you think that our problems are going to end? No, our problems didn't end. Because, yes, we stopped at Labadie, and we drank some beer because it's a brewery, and we ate, got up the next morning. There was actually two other harvest hosters that were there with us. They both left before us. I think we left probably, 8:30? Yeah, they left fairly early. We left because we had a shorter day, and we knew our check-in time down in Arkansas. We're staying at a Corps of Engineers at Prairie Creek Corps of Engineers in it's over in Rogers. So we get there. We knew we had a 5-hour. That's what I'm saying. We knew we had a 5-hour drive just to get from where we were at to get to that campground, but you couldn't check in until 4. We were trying to figure out how we were going to kill some time because the 5 hours was not going to, but we didn't just want to hang out in that brewery's field either. So we take off, and as you can see by the next footage coming up, another issue.
All right, Ava and I were on our way over to our next campground in Arkansas, and we are just outside of Springfield, Missouri, and all of a sudden my TPMS went off, and it looks like there's a slow leak on one of my tires in the back on the rig. So I've called up Discount Tire. I went and looked at the tire. It's a very slow leak, but they said, because it's about 18 miles away, if I can bring it in, they'll go ahead and take a look at it. They don't have any appointments, but they said they've got ample parking for me to go ahead and bring the rig in, and they'll take a look at it for me. So let me call up Kevin. He had gone on to Camping World to pick up something for us, and I'll let him know of our change before I get back on the road again.
Hello?
Hey, you back on the road?
Yeah, I just got back on the road, man. It took like $53 to fill the tank.
Yeah. Well, I just got a TPMS went off. I said low pressure, so I pulled over in one of those little truck pullovers. And yeah, apparently I have a screw that's stuck in the tire in the back of the door side of the rig. So I did call up Discount Tire. There's one about 18 miles away, and they can't get me an appointment, but they said go ahead, bring it in. I said we'd probably be in about 30 minutes, and they'll go ahead and take a look at it when they can, and that they've got plenty of parking for me.
Yeah, I can hear the beeper,
yeah,
or whatever.
I need to turn this off.
Hey, so do you want to hang tight right there, or do you want to keep going and just I'll meet you there? Do you want me, or do you want to wait for me to actually get to where you're at?
No, just meet us at the Discount Tire on Sunshine Avenue.
All right, I'll put it into my Waze.
All right.
I don't know where that's at, but yeah, just take, monitor the pressure while you're going down the road, and if you need to pull over, and I'll be behind you shortly. But yeah, I'll definitely meet you there. Just get it over there to get it looked at.
All right, yeah, because it did drop down to about the 70s, and the rest are like 90 some with the heat. So we'll get it looked at. I'll go very slow and make sure it doesn't drop any further. So I think as long as that screw is still in there, it's still gonna hold some of the air in there. But if it gets below 50, then I'll probably pull over again. All right?
Well, I guess the TPMS comes in and saves the date. I don't know how much more I can handle with the issues we've been having. I know it's all part of it, but it's about to drive me nuts. But yeah, just limp over there. I'm trying to get up there without breaking speed limits to where you're at. So I'll see you at Discount Tire.
All right. See you in about 30, 45 minutes.
All right. Be careful.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Absolutely. I think I need to do a video on this TPMS. We use the TST truck one, and we'll definitely try to do a video on that. Anyways, off to Discount Tire, and hopefully we make it.
So here we are in Springfield, Missouri. I don't even know when the last time we filmed. We just picked up the reflection, which is back there. We just picked that up, I don't know, 2 days ago at Grand Design. We stayed a night at Grand Design, and then last night we stayed at a Harvest Host, which we didn't film. Grand Design wouldn't let you film in there, but we were there picking up the trailer. Everything works great right now. The ceiling or the roof looks good. They gave us a new TV. They fixed some stuff that I even messed up that wasn't even part of the warranty, but they just saw it was messed up and they fixed it. So kudos to Grand Design. They're really awesome. We have time to kill before we can check into our Corps of Engineer Park, which is down in Rogers, Arkansas. So sorry, that was one of the individuals. He was cool. He's like, sorry for interrupting, but they were just coming over because the door's locked, because Dan, right over there is Walmart. So we're killing like 3 birds with one stone, wasting time getting some groceries for the fifth wheel, since how our refrigerator has been jacked up since we were in Massachusetts and we were living out of coolers. So we got that fixed at Grand Design along with the roof and a few other things. I don't know exactly where we're at, but now I have to hurry up and get Dan over here because I can take the wheel off, but it's so bright wherever we're at. Let's go this way. There we are, sun. Because they need to take the TPMS off the actual valve stem, and it's inside the truck's locked, and Dan's over there. So I had to call him and come back over here so they can finish this up and we can get back on the road. That was our third issue. Thank God we have TPMS. We actually strongly encourage you, if you're a full-timer or if you're going to be doing long distances, preferably everybody have a TPMS because it will help you. Some of them do cost a little bit of money, but it's worth its weight. Definitely shout out to the fellows and gals over at
the Sunshine Avenue Discount Tire in Springfield, Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri. They got us in and out as fast as they could in between their appointments, and they didn't charge us.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
So we do appreciate that.
So once again, now groceries are loaded. Because I remember I was walking Ava, and you kicked out the slide so you get both doors of the refrigerator open. Loaded up the food. Loaded up. We're already hooked up. And off to Arkansas we go, which where we were going, it was probably, another 2 hours?
Yeah, probably 2 hours.
About 2, and
But now with everything on the rig fixed and our refrigerator stocked up, we think we can finally get back to our full-time living.
Yeah.
No problem.
Karma's just lobbing up these balls, and we're knocking them out of the park with Grand Design's help and with Discount Tires' help, right? And Norcold. So we're loaded back up. We're back on the road. We're talking because he made it through a couple stoplights because he was ahead of me, and we got separated. We get all the way down. We make it through all that traffic, especially all that I-49 traffic right there in Bella Vista where they're redoing that bypass and stuff. We get to our campsite, and the refrigerator does not work. But it does work, but
it wasn't as cold as it was when it was in the 30s and the way I used to have it at a certain temperature. And I couldn't figure out why, because what I had done is instead of from the cold setting of 9, I usually have it set to 4 or 5. But in the summertime, I thought, well, maybe I need to set it at 5.
Especially if that side of the rig's going to be mostly in the sunlight. You know, I mean, it's going to get hot.
So I decided to take fridge temperatures in the morning and in the afternoon because it fluctuated. It was like upper 30s or lower 40s in the morning, and then in the afternoon it was upper 50s, almost lower 60s. I don't think I broke 60, but that temperature variance was different for several days. And then I noticed the fans weren't working.
So yet again, we have another fan issue. But now, because we've dealt with other issues with it, we are like, all right, we know what it is. The fans are not working. Boom, it's that 5-amp fuse.
Well, it wasn't 5-amp fuse because the refrigerator was working. It's just the fans weren't. So,
because if that fuse was blown out, it wouldn't even be on.
Nothing would work.
You wouldn't even get the green light that's on the front, the little green dot.
But I did work with Grand Design. I called them up, and Emily got her shop foreman, and they tried to troubleshoot it with me. They had me do this splicing to make sure if the fans had to be
let's use right terms. You didn't splice anything. You didn't cut no wires and splice in. No, he did not splice. He did not cut into the thing that's on warranty. I would not let him do that.
I jumped, I guess is the proper term. I jumped the 2 fan leads into a 10 ATC amp fuse. So, or 10 amp ATC fuse. So, they said if you do that, you're bypassing the thermistor. And they said because maybe the problem's a thermistor. The fans they knew were brand new. So, they weren't even 3-4 days old at the time. And I took the 10 amp fuse, and I've got a diagram right here, and the fans did not work. So they said that is the problem, or that is not the problem. There's something else the problem. So they authorized us to call a mobile RV repairman in the area to go ahead and come out and troubleshoot it for us. Again, we're in Arkansas, so I'm looking around for mobile RV techs, and luckily I found one. Every time I called somebody, they recommended this one guy. They said, you need to call Randy at this number. And I called, just got his answering machine, and he eventually called back within probably an hour. But he said, yeah, I can get out there tomorrow. I said, great. So in the meantime, what I was doing is I put my 2 fans in, and that was actually helping expel the air.
Like you saw in the video when we were in Massachusetts, he set the fans back up. Except that I think he put one down at the bottom this time and one at the top.
Right, because I didn't want to take off that chimney plywood that they had up there.
That they replaced for us, by the way.
Right. So I was able to put them in there. Here's a picture of the way I had rigged both of them, and it was really easy and convenient. And we knew the cooling unit was good. The fans helped a great deal. It brought down the temperature. The other nice thing that we noticed was that we were in the shade, so I made sure that I took off the covers to let as much air out as possible because it was getting very hot back there. The fans were blowing, and it seemed to resolve the problem, at least until Randy, the RV repair guy, could come out and actually fix it for us. But luckily, the repairman called me back and said, hey, can I drop by in the next hour? I said, sure, come on out. And he went out. He figured out the problem after doing some troubleshooting was a 1 amp bus fuse that was inside the conduit, which I never even knew about. but he showed me how to replace it. Here's a picture of the fuse that we used and where it is in the conduit, and put that in. The fans started right up.
So yeah, I mean, definitely we've learned a lot in a short amount of time. Definitely with the refrigerator and what to check. This is a very long video. Hopefully what we went through, it'll help other people as well.
So we hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope you actually learned something from it, from our mistakes and from our experience of going through this process. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah, and we're going to start trying to get a lot better. We have a lot of footage from when we were traveling the East Coast. We are going to be in Arkansas for a little bit, and then we got to go back up to Michigan. But there is still videos to come out, and we got a ton of footage to put videos out. So we just need to get back on the ball. We've kind of slacked instead of doing one a week. I would like to start meeting people out in the campgrounds that we go to. Not just, you know, other YouTubers, which we've gotten to see along the way. We've gotten to see a lot of the YouTubers,
and we've actually met some people in some campgrounds that we saw in other campgrounds.
Oh yeah, that's always fun when you see some people at multiple campgrounds. But it's about the journey. It's about the destination. Where's the road going to take you? You know, it's not just the destination. It's how you get there. It's everything. And I think that we were starting to focus too much on the YouTube channel. Not that we don't want to focus. We want to share our adventures with you. But it was taking priority. And when we were immersed in these places that we were going to see, we wasn't really there. You know, we're trying to watch this angle. You go because we want to do. And we're still learning. We're not big. You know, so it becomes more about filming in a YouTube channel and getting the right shot. And then you almost forget about what it is that you're there in. I'm kind of glad that we did take it slow. We do have a lot of good footage. And I mean, it was great. I do want to get some footage of Vermilion next time we go back, because I do love Vermilion. That's a great little town. If you ever get a chance to go to Vermilion, Ohio, I would definitely recommend checking that out. But until our next video,
where will the road take you?
Bye, y'all.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights.